My fiancé casually texted me while doing it with a guy who I shouldn't worry about, and she begged me to stay, but what I did instead made her cry like a goat. Our story begins in spring of 2016 when I met a girl we'll call Rosie. Well, Rosie immediately hit it off and began dating. Rosie was a shy, beautiful, and kind girl, but she had her demons. Her biggest flaw, and the one that caused the most issues throughout our relationship, was that she was a serial liar and just could not tell the truth or accept fault in anything. She kept up lies and hid things for months, sometimes years. I could give plenty of examples, but I think you get the point. But no matter what she did, I always gave it a pass because of her background. Her father abandoned her family, and her brother and grandma were misustive towards her. Most of our relationship was long distance since I'm originally from Mexico, but work in the US. Honestly, looking back, there were huge red flags, and I should have broken it off much earlier. Immediately getting into the relationship, she became extremely jealous/controlling and forbade me from talking/hanging out with other girls, made me delete all the girls off my social media, and forbid me from going to parties. I said fine, but that I expected the same from her. I respected the rules she made for me, she did not. She never missed a party, never respected what I told her, and on multiple occasions I found hidden social media accounts. Eventually, over time, I became the same way as her, controlling and mean. Even though our relationship was pretty toxic, there were also a lot of great memories. We would text/call/video chat every single day for hours and hours. I went to visit her as frequently as possible. When I was there in person, we had so many great moments together. Dinners, holidays, nice gifts, matching outfits, dancing, going to parties together, etc. But the most special moment was when we lost our V-cards together. The whole time we were together, she always wanted two things: to move out of her house and a baby. We had our normal ups and downs as in any couple, and so we dated and remained together year after year. Cut forward to about July 2020. By this point, I had become more mean and uncaring. The last few months I had been more cold because I was tired of the constant lies. She had basically been begging me to agree to marry her and get together when I went this year, but with the whole COVID situation, I wasn't sure if I would even be able to travel, so I would just say that I didn't want to talk about it. One night she mentions that she wants to start working at a new place, greenhouses. However, I say no because that place is infamous for how toxic it is. Most of the people who work there are young but pill-obsessed persons, alcoholics, and involved in gangs. How do I know? Because I have family members that work/have worked there and came out pill-obsessed persons, alcoholics, pregnant, or all three. Well, she said fine, I won't go, and that was that. Over the next several months, I noticed several changes in her schedule, her appearance, behavior, mannerisms, etc. She became more aggressive, would always have to leave at a certain time, and became noticeably much thinner. Also, she began receiving strange friend requests on her social media, including one from a guy that seemed off, and she seemed really insistent on adding him, but we'll get to who he was. Over all these months, I asked repeatedly what was going on and to just come clean, but she never did. Cut forward to last week, and I found out the horrible truth from some family members and friends. In July, she did start working there behind my back, but that's just the beginning. In August, she began hanging out with the wrong crowd. In September, she started talking to a guy we'll call Tony. Tony is a huge pill-obsessed person and is family with a local pill lord. How do I know? Because at the time he was dating one of my cousins, who he also got obsessed with pills. Well, I'm not sure of exactly when, but around that time Rosie began using crystal ice as well as other pills probably influenced by Tony. In October, Rosie began cheating on me with Tony, and Tony began cheating on my cousin with Rosie. I knew something had happened because 3 Fridays in a row, Rosie completely disappeared and ghosted me with the excuse of visiting family. But in reality, she was getting high and drunk with Tony and her friends. Throughout November and December, she would randomly disappear some days, including Christmas Eve, with the excuse of going to visit family. But in reality, she had basically become Tony's personal sex toy. He would get her drunk and high, then have his way with her, which he had done to many girls before her. The days after she would disappear, she would be completely out of it. She could barely speak. She complained about being tired, sore, sleepy, lightheaded, etc. I thought she was sick, but in reality she was hungover from drinking, doing pills, and having sex with Tony. The last 6 months of my life were a complete lie and filled with manipulation. Every day she would get high, drunk, make out, and sleep with Tony, and at night she would text/call/video chat with me. Sometimes she would literally be with him making out, doing pills, fornicating while texting with me. She would then literally go and call a video chat with me and act like nothing happened. Sometimes she would finish talking with me on the phone, then leave to go be with him. I know this because I would later go on to see pictures of them together at times when I was texting with her, and they would be seen together late at night. The entire time, I would constantly ask what was wrong because I could see something was wrong. She was getting skinnier and skinnier, and her mannerisms and body language changed. She never confessed anything, not one thing, and lied until the very end. She would tell me I was the one and only, that I was her world, that she wanted a family and to spend her entire life with me. She would send me revealing pictures saying they were for me when, in reality, they were for Tony. We would video chat and she would show me her body and brag about how thin she was getting and give me little shows, all the while giving it all to Tony. In October, I let her know that this year I wanted to move in together and get married, and even then, she didn't tell me anything. Then we get the worst part. How do I know she was trying to pin his baby on me? Well, she had always wanted a baby, and even went as far as lying about being on the pill just so I would have sex with her with no protection. But I never let it happen. She faked being pregnant twice, and both times I went to get tests, and both times they came out negative. So more than likely, she did the same thing to Tony. And well, since Tony is known to not be a good person, if he didn't want anything to do with the baby, she would need a backup. Me. All throughout December, she complained about stomach issues, pains, cramps, nausea, etc. But when I asked if she knew why, she would always say she didn't know. In early December, she randomly one day started talking dirty to me, telling me how the first night I arrived, she really wanted to have sex with me, but it had to be with no protection, so it would be special. Sound suspicious? On December 28th, we were all good, talking about how soon we would be together and start a life together. Then, on December 29th, she randomly texts me saying we need to talk and basically tries every excuse under the sun to break up with me. On December 30th, I found out everything and cut off anything to do with her. Then 2 days later, on January 1st, she left and moved in with Tony. Why would Tony actually get together with someone when he had done the same thing to many girls before Rosie? Last time we had contact, she mentioned she quit using ice and was going to have blood work and tests done. So, what happened? Well, on December 29th, she more than likely took a pregnancy test which came out positive and probably told Tony if he wanted to be with her, then she would break up with me, and if he didn't, well, she would break up with him and let me get there without ever knowing anything. Now they are living together and probably going to marry soon. 4+ years with me, and she legitimately started doing ice and cheating within 2 months of meeting some random pill-obsessed person. Literally moved in with him, probably pregnant within 6 months of meeting him. I was with her for 2 years before we ever even considered having intimacy, but she gave it up to Tony in 2 months. Probably even less. So now here I am, broken and left in pieces. I can't sleep at night because of the horrible mental images of them together. I miss the Rosie I once knew, not the monster that is there now. Ice and bad influences made her even more of a monster. I have thought about ending life on several occasions. I'm on antidepressants and sleeping medication, and I start therapy on Monday. Update. It's been 2 weeks since D-Day when I found out all the messed up things my ex had been doing behind my back. The first week I lost my mind and completely went insane. Stopped eating, no sleep, would have constant breakdowns, etc. I reached out for help and got on antidepressants and sleeping medication. I also started going to therapy. All those things have helped, especially the sleep. I'm still not 100% over everything, obviously. I still get angry every now and then. My heart still hurts remembering all the good memories and imagining the person I once loved with another. However, these are only minor inconveniences at this point. The thing that has made the biggest impact on my recovery has been my mentality. At first, I let all that hate and rage take over me. I let it hurt me. However, I realized that I can't let the monster win. I can't let her get the last laugh. I can't let her see me defeated. I'm a better person than her or the trash she chose to be with. The life she chose to live leads to nothing good. She'll eventually come crashing down, and when that happens, I want to be there to watch it happen. I turned that hate and anger into motivation. Motivation to better myself and to be as successful as possible, mentally, physically, and financially. One day, when I inevitably run into her, I want her to see me succeeding while she wallows in the pit she chose for herself. I want to see her realize the stupidity of what she did. I want her to regret what she did in her life. Then I will have the last laugh. Then I will have completed my mission. Success is the greatest revenge. Stay strong out there, kings and queens. Final update. Hi everyone, this is hopefully the last post I will make on here. Today marks exactly 1 month since I found out who I thought was the love of my life had become an ice-obsessed person and cheated on me for months behind my back. The more time passes, the more I realize how lucky I was to get away from that narcissistic, manipulative, lying monster. The first week was without a doubt the absolute worst days of my life. I didn't sleep at all at night. I spent my days and nights walking back and forth, and all I could think about was how could she have done this to me? How can someone be so evil to lie to my face for so long? How could she sleep with another guy, then talk with me like nothing was happening? I had attempted ending life in the past and was considering trying again. As the days passed and I reached out to old friends I had lost because of her, I realized she was a monster from the beginning. I found out she had done this in the past. I found out she had kept seeing and texting with her ex before me behind my back for at least a year into our relationship. I found out from her ex-best friend that she'd gone as far as saying that if I didn't pay attention to her, she would try to get with my brother. She was nothing but a monster in disguise who had fooled not only me but my family and her family as well. As the weeks have passed, I have had good days and bad. Nights are definitely the worst, and now that it's been a month, memory lane is hitting hard. A lot of days I feel lonely and sad. However, no matter how bad I feel, no matter how much it hurts, no matter how much I miss having someone there, I keep pushing forward. It does and will get better. Turn all that hate and anger you have into motivation. Motivation to better yourself as much as possible. Be as successful as you can. Better yourself mentally, physically, and financially. You can't let the monster defeat you. You have to show it who's boss. You did nothing wrong. You were the catch in that relationship, and you have the strength to overcome this. They are nothing but trash, and you deserve so much better. My advice to anyone who is going through this is to stay strong and don't be afraid to seek help, advice. Reach out to family, friends. If you have no one, feel free to message me. I'll be happy to listen. Seek medical and psychological help if you need to. I myself take antidepressants and sleeping medication. Sleep will be one of your best friends. Change your mentality as I did. Use that rage as motivation to better yourself rather than letting it destroy you. Use me as living proof that you can overcome this. You can do it. You're not alone, and deep down you have the strength to not only survive but come out of this stronger. Stay strong, kings and queens. We all deserve better, and we all deserve to be happy.